Hello, my name is Twizzlerk, and yes, you read that title correctly. I will now jog your memory by playing 1 second from both ads. That's correct, they were awkward and terrible. If that is the case, then why do I miss them? Because I hate AI-generated slop and how it's in every single market right now. Is that clear enough? Is that clear yet? Do we know what the video's about? Just to be clear, I'm talking about generative AI and complaining about it. And fair warning, I'm going to make fun of people here and there when it's appropriate to do so. So if this is your kind of content, like, comment, subscribe. If you want, you don't have to. Real quick, back to these ads. They were not well received, and that was for good reason. The characters are unappealing, it's pretty obnoxious, and overall it's extremely awkward. But it was made and animated by people, and I'm afraid that's a quality that's becoming slowly overlooked. You know, because people are getting more and more into generating AI videos of fat people falling through bed frames. You want to know something really ironic? The production companies behind the GrubHub ads are now also into AI generating shit. It was so frustrating to learn that, by the way. It feels like I took my main point and just started boom, boom with a hammer, you know? I wish this was still 6 years ago and we still had the video of Will Smith eating the spaghetti very poorly. We should have stayed right there, man. Should have never gotten past that. You can't really watch a video without looking at the other sources behind it first to make sure it's not the latest AI generated thing. And I will say it's largely short form content that is being AI generated, but that's still a bad thing. That's still not good to deceive people constantly. And you know what? Maybe there is some good to that because people are looking into sources more and not believing things flat out. Most of the time. And I had to correct myself. I said 6 years ago with the Will Smith thing. That was 2 years ago. In 2 years, this shit has advanced astronomically. And in my opinion, not enough people are bothered by this. I don't really understand why they aren't bothered by it. I feel like people just don't know the dangers behind it. And when I say dangerous, I mean in regards to psychological health and environmental health. Let's start with the amount of water these things use. In short, the answer is a lot. They use this water because they get extremely hot and they have to cool it. But there's many different variables that goes into this, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it too much. Because where the data centers are placed does matter, because that will impact what kind of water they use. So if and when these things are using potable water, that's bad. That's for drinking. You know, people should be able to drink that. But no, it's so people can make more AI slop. And if none of that matters to you, RAM prices are going up too. They're already increasing, actually. Here's an example I got from Best Buy, like last week. $1,000, $400. That's insane. That's horrible. But why are the prices increasing? If you don't know, Micron is a RAM producing company, essentially, or just memory company. They're no longer selling to people like you and I. They're only going to sell to AI companies now. Do you see my smile? This is a real smile, because I'm so happy. I'm not happy, I'm very upset. And just to be clear, again, we're talking about generative AI. I don't see what good that has done at all. I don't get it. Is it really as simple as I just don't understand what good it's done? I don't think so. I think it is just kind of useless. Not totally useless. I'm sure there is some good use cases for it, but I've yet to see one. Also, my eyes are really bad right now. I need glasses. I don't like how I look at these on, and that's okay. I need them. Let's talk about Virginia for a second, specifically Northern Virginia. They have around 300 data centers, I think, maybe more than that, which is a lot for one place. And just there alone, they used 2 billion gallons of water. And you might be thinking to yourself, so what? So many things in America use a fuck ton of water. What's it matter? All I'm saying is it could be going to a way better place. And these data centers also use a lot of electricity, which means we need more things to power them. So that means carbon emissions are going to go up and the heat rises and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a scientist. I could be saying things wrong. If I am, you can correct me. It's okay. Just don't be a dick about it. Real quick, I want to talk about Kim Kardashian, because that is an interesting case. Before we say anything at all, I will give, some graces where they're due. Apparently, the low brain activity thing, have you heard about that?
So what the holes mean is low activity.
That is very possibly linked to the fact that she had some form of COVID, long COVID, I think it's called. I'm not gonna blame ChatGPT exclusively for her low brain functionality. Okay, let's start off from the very beginning. For some reason, she wants to be a lawyer, and she was trying to use ChatGPT to study for the bar exam. And apparently, she would get so mad at it that she would yell at ChatGPT because it gave her the wrong answers or some shit like that. Now, I don't know how popular Kim Kardashian is, but she's still a celebrity to some degree, right? And with her saying shit like that, she is almost normalizing that you can do shit like this. You can look at your phone and be mad when it gives you the wrong answer. That's like my grandpa yelling at the Wi-Fi router. That's ridiculous. And I don't know all the ins and outs of how addiction works, you know what I mean? I'm not a scientist by any means, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But I feel like this could be seen as early signs of a codependence for this technology. And you know what, I will say I understand to some degree that people want to use ChatGPT and things like that to ask questions and shit because it's convenient, right? It gives you the answers right in your face, even though it apparently gets it wrong a lot of the time and just yes and you. And when I say yes anding you, it means, you know, you ask it a question and it just gives you what you want to hear. I feel like you blaming this machine for your lack of research is nuts. And you shouldn't use it to research in the first place. Like imagine this, like imagine you walk into a courtroom and you find out that somehow your public defender is Kim Kardashian and you didn't know about it. Me personally, I probably can't say that. That sounds worse than it is. I should remove that. That shouldn't go in the video. My point with the whole Kim Kardashian thing and all that is to say that we cannot allow ourselves to be dependent on this kind of technology. You going on ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever it's called. By the way, if I might add, with these newer laptops, they're adding a fucking Copilot auto button right into your thing. So you can just tap it and then talk to Copilot. It's like, people use it that much? I'm flabbergasted by this, dude. Becoming dependent on a piece of technology that is not actually teaching you something is just harmful. You shouldn't need me to tell you that it's harmful, because it very clearly is. When I was taught about researching things, the first thing they try and tell you is that you should look at multiple sources. ChatGPT isn't doing that for you. It's just pulling information from different things, and that don't try and mix my words here. It's taking from multiple sources and just kind of putting it together and trying to most accurately reply to your inquiry. Again, you need to research things for yourself too. Don't just look at this video and take it as solid fact. Research. Reliance on ChatGPT and Copilot and things like that are not helpful. They will not make you a better person. It just makes you lazier to some degree, you know what I mean? I have already seen real life cases of people using this shit and being dumb and being just straight up foolish with it. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's reasonable to ask ChatGPT what Pokemon move you should replace? Why even play the game at that point? You know what I mean? Like, what is the need? Look it up normally. Google is still here. It still works. And by the way, a very short-term solution to getting rid of the AI thing with that is if you add a minus symbol AI to your thing, it's not there anymore. Briefly, at least. I shouldn't even have to say this, but no, you should not use ChatGPT for therapy either. Please don't fucking do that. I would try and give an example and use it, but I don't want to do that. Now, for a moment, I do want to get more serious with this and talk about something that is deeply upsetting. This is going to serve as a trigger warning here. If you don't want to hear about suicide, anything like that, I would click past this all. I'm going to say this very plainly. There was a 14-year-old boy who took his life because a character AI roleplay bot essentially coerced him into doing so. And it was a horribly sad thing. I don't even want to talk about it that much because I'm going to start crying. And I'm deeply afraid of something like that happening again. We are in a very bad time all around right now. People are extremely depressed, especially my generation more so is extremely depressed. So people are looking for more and more outs, essentially, to try and give themselves some sort of happiness. And I am fearful that more and more people are going to use these robots to pass the time, be less lonely. I'm sure that's been an excuse used by some people, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that it's going to get worse because, you know, companies like OpenAI and whatever the company behind character AI is, they want these things to be more realistic. They want them to be more human so people are more gravitated towards them. That's the entire purpose. It serves nothing but to divide us, and that is just not going to help us, man. It's not. I'm sure it's the same thing as when Google first came around. You know, people made the same argument of it's going to destroy books and shit like that. This is actually harmful. And Google is still extremely useful. So are books. Just saying. Read a book. It's fun. Okay, I need to get this video done, but truth be told, it keeps getting pushed back because of other things happening. Let me explain why I'm making this video in the first place. Me and my friends recorded a game a while back, and it was pretty fun. Actually, we had a great time. The footage was pretty solid. It was funny, but I realized something. They were using generative AI for some of the artwork in there. So I tried to contact the dev about it, see if he would be, you know, cordial and reasonable and remove it. And he lied to my face and said it was not in there. And then I showed him the proof, and he was like, it didn't count. It didn't count at all. So this kind of put me in a moral dilemma to some degree. Because yes, it was fun, but generative AI fucking sucks. So fuck you and your product. And I won't talk about what game it was because that would be free promo as well. It would have been so easy to go in Photoshop or anything like that and just make something real quick. But you didn't do that. You took the easy way out. So I dropped the game entirely. And people will say that we have no choice in this shit being integrated into our lives and our products and stuff like that. And that is not true. If you stand your ground, it works. In fact, I even got them to put a disclaimer on their Steam page saying it has AI shit in it. Win! Since we're on the topic of games, shout out Game Pinata. I'm doing a very small giveaway to one lucky person. Leave a comment and you could win this game, a code for the game on Steam. I'll give you a game code on Steam. As you know, I work with Game Pinata. We work together. If you're an indie developer and you want to promote your game with reasonable prices, you should check out Game Pinata. Even if you're not a game developer and you want to just check out some cool indie games, sign up now anyway. And now to end this off, I want to talk about the Larian situation because it's confusing at best. One of the CEOs talked about how they use generative AI, and he said in this tweet, I was asked explicitly about concept art and our use of Gen AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. We use AI tools to explore references just like we use Google in art books. At the very early ideation stages, we use it as a rough outline for our composition which we replace with original concept art. There is no comparison. Why use it at all? It's a very odd phrase to say we use it to explore ideas, but then you try and say we're not using it to make anything, but you are, though. Even using it as a rough outline so that your concept artist can make something from that, what the fuck's the point of the concept artist? Isn't that what they're hired for, to make something from scratch? Or to look at references, not AI references, and make something up from that? I don't understand that. Me personally, I don't really believe that generative AI belongs anywhere near the creative process. Even if you're just using it to make PowerPoints, as he also said somewhere, that's fucking ridiculous. If you're gonna tell me that you love making things, but you also use generative AI to help you do so, I don't think you love making things as much as you think you do. When I make a video, I do everything myself. I could not imagine using AI for any of it, to be honest. Most of my videos start out with a rough storyboard in a way. I think of an idea, I write it down, I check out whatever game I'm gonna make the video on, and see if it's doable. And if it is, I start writing the script, I record the audio and the video separately. I get that for, making a video game, it's a little bit different because you have to make models and shit like that. You have to do a lot more creatively. I'm not gonna act like this is the hardest thing in the world to do, but I just can't imagine using AI for any of it. Matter of fact, and this is going to be very nerve-wracking for me to show you here, I hate generative AI so much, and it bothers me so much that it hurts artists and takes away from the artistry of creating something, that I started to draw more myself and I started to take it more seriously. And I look at references of, people and other video games, and I draw. I just like to draw. These are from Red Dead. I like Red Dead a lot. I tried to draw my Project Zomboid character. It looks like shit, but it was fun. I couldn't imagine using AI for any of my creative processes. And I genuinely think that if you need to use it, you're not creative as you think you are, and you don't care about the passion that is creating art. You don't care about it. And I think that is the video done for right now. And that was just my little rant on AI and why I hate it. On Gen AI, sorry. But yeah, okay, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to talk in the comments, go ahead. It's up to you. And I will see you guys later. Bye!